Hi all, this is an introductory lecture to Hubert Dreyfus' critique of artificial intelligence. The next week we're going to study in detail this author's critique when we discuss one of his papers. For the moment, I'm going to present some basic ideas about the philosophical debate over artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence mimics cognitive functions we usually associate with humans such as writing, learning, and problem solving. The current explosion in AI is made possible by developments in machine learning. However, note that in machine learning there is always a human teaching and guiding initially the computer. Algorithms are getting increasingly better at identifying patterns in streams of data. Nevertheless, as we will study in Phelan's paper, algorithms identify correlations but not causality, and causality is what we use in science and daily life. Using so-called deep learning and neural networks, computers can now be trained to perform tasks rather than being programmed by a human being as in classical AI. This has resulted in a range of new technologies. Computers being able to play strategic games such as chess and Go, but also devices that can understand human speech, autonomous cars, intelligent robots, and recently large language models such as ChatGPT. Yet it is highly doubtful that machines could ever have what is called general intelligence. That is, perform any cognitive task humans can do, let alone achieve consciousness. That is, a strong AI. We will see with Phelan that the distinctions between artificial general intelligence and artificial neural intelligence, and between a strong AI and weak AI, are very important to assess the scope of the project of AI. The philosopher Hubert Dreyfus questions the following four assumptions of artificial intelligence research. First, the assumption that the brain and mind are analogous to computer hardware and software. Second, the assumption that the mind works by performing computations on representations. Third, the assumption that all activity can be formalized. And fourth, the assumption that reality consists of a set of facts. Humans are beings in the world and not just some type of computers. Instead of these assumptions, we have a specific kind of being in the world that is based on our embodiment and our being part of the social. If a strong AI is supposed to be human-like intelligence, then it will also have to have bodies and live in societies. Against these assumptions, Dreyfus emphasizes embodiment and knowing how, instead of knowing that. This means that our knowledge involves skill and not just content. Dreyfus also used Heidegger's distinction between tools being present at hand and ready to hand. When we use the tool, it is invisible and we are not aware of it. This is a kind of implicit and embodied knowledge. Think of when you ride a bicycle. You don't know the specific rules you use to ride it, so they cannot be programmed by an engineer in a computer. A lot of your knowledge is implicit and embodied. Implicit and embodied knowledge. Dreyfus showed that when we are novices, we need rules, but as we move toward the highest expert level of skill, we gain a more intuitive grasp of situations and can improvise rather than relying on rules. There is a tacit, unconscious, and embodied dimension of knowledge. Today, cognitive science, which is related to AI and robotics research, usually takes an embodied and enactivist direction. Enactivism is a position in cognitive science that argues that cognition arises through a dynamic interaction between an acting organism and its environment. So this was the introductory lecture to artificial intelligence. Remember to answer the review question number 7 of the page 49 of Introduction to Philosophy of Technology and submitted it on Brightspace. The deadline is June 15 at midnight. Hope you have been working on your essay 1. The deadline is Monday, June 19 at midnight. Next week, we will discuss Dreyfus' paper entitled Why Heideggerian A Failed. Have a good night.